When I bought that crumbling old house on the edge of Willow Creek's historic district, I wasn't just signing a deed. I was declaring war on the suffocating grip of homeowners associations. My name's Ethan Caldwell, and all I wanted was a place where no clipboard-wielding suburban dictator could tell me what shade of beige my life had to be. The house was a relic, a century-old craftsman, with peeling paint and a roof that sagged like it was tired of standing. Most folks saw a money pit. I saw freedom. No HOA, no rules about mailbox designs or approved flowerbed mulch. Just me, a creaky porch, and the right to paint my walls whatever damn color I pleased. I did my homework before the ink dried on the contract. Pulled every zoning map, title report, and deed record I could find. Called the city planning office twice to confirm. This property was a lone island, untouched by any HOA's tentacles. No covenants, no architectural re-VYEW boards, no fine print waiting to bite me. So, I moved in with a laptop, a mattress, and a coffee maker bare essentials for a guy who just wanted Wi-Fi and peace. The first few weeks were bliss. I ripped out moldy carpet, sanded floorboards, and painted the exterior a deep, rebellious emerald green that would have made any HOA president choke on their decaf. It was bold, unapologetic, a giant middle finger in latex form. I loved it. The neighbors were curious, but kind. Older folks mostly who'd lived there forever. They'd wave, drop off cobbler, and make small talk about my unique mailbox or overgrown hedges. I'd grin, say something like, keeps it interesting, and that was that. For a while, life was good just me, my coffee, and the slow resurrection of a forgotten house. Then one day, I caught her staring. A woman, arms crossed, standing at the edge of my lawn like she was sizing up a battlefield. I'd seen her before, always speed walking in pristine sneakers, radiating the kind of energy that screams, I run this place. She didn't wave, just jotted something on her phone and left. That was my first brush with Karen Whitaker, though I didn't know her name yet. Trouble has a way of introducing itself. It started with an envelope, cream-colored and official, stuffed in my mailbox. No return address, just a logo for Crestwood Association stamped like a royal seal. Inside was a letter, smug and perfumed with bureaucracy, informing me my green paint VUI OLAT their community aesthetic standards. I had 15 days to repaint in an approved shade-think off-white or weathered sand, the color of despair. I laughed so hard I nearly spilled my coffee. They'd made a mistake. My house wasn't under their HOA. I pulled my documents deed, title, city emails confirming no HOA jurisdiction and fired off a polite but firm reply, certified mail, return receipt requested. Nice try, I thought. Game over. It wasn't. A week later, a red envelope arrived, screaming notice of fine. They want to do la $4,500 for my continued non-compliance. Then came another for due la $1,800, claiming my sleek black mailbox was aesthetically disruptive. Over $6,000 in 2 weeks for paint and a mailbox. Worse, they listed my property as newly annexed, a claim as fictional as a unicorn stampede. I hadn't signed anything. No notice, no vote, just their word in bold Helvetica. I installed a second security camera that night. Call it instinct. Something told me this wasn't a clerical error. Someone was watching, and they wanted my little patch of freedom under their thumb. I decided to face it head on. Shaved, threw on a collared shirt, and drove to Crestwood's office, a sad strip mall setup between a nail salon and a vape shop that reeked of vanilla and regret. A bored teenager at the desk pointed me to Karen's office. Beige walls, beige carpet, beige soul. Karen sat behind a desk, typing like she was brokering world peace. You've been finding me for a house that's not in your HOA, I said, sliding my documents across. She barely glanced at them. Mr. Caldwell, she said, her smile sharp as a paper cut. Our charter now includes properties near our park. Your house is in that radius. You're subject to our rules. I blinked. You can't just annex my property without consent. Her shrug was pure venom. That's for the courts. Pay your fines, or they'll become liens. Behind her, pinned to a corkboard, was a zoning map. My house, circled in red Sharpie, with a post-it that read claim and enforce. I left, my knuckles white on the steering wheel. This wasn't a mistake. It was a hunt. Things escalated fast. A silver SUV started parking across my street. Some guy snapping photos of my yard. I confronted him after the third VY sit. HOA, he stammered. Documenting VY violations. Violations like what? My shrubs? He sped off. Then, at 6:30 a.m., my phone chimed. Motion detected. A man in a reflective vest was on my porch, peering through my window. I stormed out, phone recording. You're trespassing. He handed me a flyer about seasonal lighting ordinances in July. I crumpled it and pointed to the gate. Leave. Now. That day, an anonymous note appeared in my mailbox. Join the association, or things get complicated. No signature, just a threat wrapped in polite font. I wasn't alone. My neighbor, Mrs. Clara, an 80-year-old widow, whispered they'd threatened to cut her trash pickup unless she signed their papers. Others faced lies about voided insurance or liens for civil violations. One couple caught an HOA goon measuring their grass at 2 a.m. This wasn't enforcement. It was a shakedown. I started a group chat, Free Crestwood, and the stories flooded in intimidation, trespassing, coercion. I documented everything. VY Deos, letters, timestamps. Karen and her cronies wanted a war? I'd give them one. I called every lawyer in town and baked brownies to keep my sanity. Nathan Harper, a sharp attorney with a knack for land disputes, cleared his schedule when I showed him my footage. They're banking on you folding, he said, flipping through their forged annexation map. This isn't legal. It's a scam. We rallied 8 neighbors at my place, their fear turning to fury as they shared Affida VYTS. Mrs. Clara brought a pie and a stack of threatening letters. A single mom, Lena, said they'd threatened to call Childcare VYCES over her kid's bike. We printed flyers, "Is Crestwood harassing you?" and taped them to utility poles. Calls poured in. By Friday, we had 30 statements, enough to make the city listen. Then Crestwood sued me. Small claims court, 2 weeks out, for disrupting neighborhood cohesion. Nathan grinned like a kid on Christmas. They just handed us a stage. We prepared like generals. Zoning records, forged signatures, one from a man dead since 2018, and VY Deos of their trespassing. In court, Karen's lawyer spun a tale of implied consent because my house was near their park. Nathan didn't flinch. He handed the judge a binder me deed, city emails, and EVY Denke of fraud. They forged signatures, Your Honor. They trespassed. They harassed. The courtroom went silent. Karen shifted. One of her board members muttered, "Oh crap." The judge dismissed their claim, referred the case for fraud investigation, and ordered Crestwood to stop harassing me. The fallout was glorious. A local blog broke the story. HOA faces fraud allegations after forging dead man's signature. It spread like wildfire. Facebook, Reddit, everywhere. A leaked board recording caught Karen laughing about burying me in fines. Neighbors I'd never met called to join the fight. Crestwood's spine mails about misunderstandings fooled no one, not after I shared our Dropbox of EVY Denke. The city council called a special session. I spoke, backed by half the neighborhood. "We're not their empire," I said. The council opened an inquiry. Karen didn't show, just posted a whiny statement about female leadership being targeted. Too late. She was charged with fraud, trespassing, conspiracy, and abuse of power. Her mugshot, lit by jailhouse fluorescence, was poetic justice. Crestwood's board was suspended, fines canceled, and Karen banned from HOA roles for a decade. One morning, I planted a sign in my yard. "Your HOA ends here." Simple, steel, permanent. Mrs. Clara brought lemon bars and called me a bulldog. Lena hugged me, her kid zipping by on his scooter, free from Karen's goons. Neighbors left beer, notes, gratitude. We weren't just neighbors anymore. We were a rebellion. Nathan suggested I write about it. I did, and the story went viral, inspiring homeowners nationwide. I still get letters, people saying thanks, asking how I stayed calm. I didn't. I just kept fighting, one document, one camera, one step at a time. So what do you think? Was I right to dig in, or should I have just paid the fines and moved on? Are HOAs a necessary EVYL to keep neighborhoods nice? Or are they power-hungry traps waiting to pounce? Have you ever faced a bully like Karen Whitaker, and how'd you handle it? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're Team Freedom, and subscribe for more stories of fighting a man. Let's keep this conversation going. Your story might be next.